What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. Today, I wanted to talk about the spot price of silver falling back down into the $24 an ounce range. Gold is down a little bit as well, but we also have to talk about what Jerome Powell just said yesterday regarding inflation and why it's making me believe that gas prices are going to continue going up and it's just going to drive up the inflation reports as a whole. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos, subscribe to my second channel for weekly videos, get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. Come and join us in the Precious Metals VIP Club for giveaways, live streams, deal alerts, and a whole lot more. And of course, go and get your 5 free stocks. By downloading Webull and funding your account, when you refer one friend, they're going to give you 10 free stocks for the referral. Everything will be linked in the description. So today is Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022. The current spot price of silver, as I'm filming the video, is $24.74. It's down 45 cents or down 1.79%. Nice solid red day for the beautiful white metal. And the spot price of gold is $1923.40. It's down $12.60 or down 0.65%. Mild red day for the beautiful yellow metal. And of course, the gold to silver ratio is in the 76 to 77 to 1 range. But of course, that's as I'm filming the video at like 10 o'clock in the morning, not as I'm editing, posting, or as you're watching. So head on down to the comments and let me know the date and time you're viewing the video and what the current spot price is for you. I'm always curious. Alright, so in today's video, we're going to be talking quite a bit about the silver and quite a bit about the gold. As you can see on display right here, have a nice little selection. Have some miscellaneous coins up there at the top, some fractional gold. We have 25th and 30th anniversary maple. Got the Creatures of the North right here. And by the way, speaking of the Creatures of the North, a lot of people keep asking me the same question over and over again. They ask me what airtights I use or where I get these airtights for the Creatures of the North. So just to be clear, this one came with the coin. And this one I got off of Amazon. I always leave all of the resources in the description of my video. If you need anti-tarnish paper, if you need mint tubes, if you need airtight capsules, if you need anything silver and gold supply related, coin microscopes, it's all linked in the description, a whole bunch of Amazon affiliate links. Same go for the prepping supplies that I use as well. The water purification unit, the food dehydrator, the portable power station, the list goes on. All Amazon affiliate links are in the description, and at the end of the month, I'm actually removing all of them from the description. So you only have really another week or so to use those links and get those supplies if you need them. So it's all linked in the description. Moving on. We are going to be talking about silver and gold today, but before we can even get into the money, I think we also need to first talk about the currency. More specifically, what Jerome Powell just said yesterday regarding inflation. Now, believe it or not, this video was actually supposed to be about the Federal Reserve and what was said earlier this month regarding world reserve currencies, but I figured this was probably a little bit more suited for the video. So, speaking of the Federal Reserve, I don't know how many of you tuned into yesterday's NABE annual conference. I actually wasn't even aware of it. That's how little attention I've been paying the last couple of days until the speech was released. So I only got to hear some of what was going on just by listening to it while I was working in the background. So last night, I rewatched it. And wow, that explains why the stock market was doing so well yesterday and then just tanked out of nowhere. Long story short, Jerome Powell came out and said that if rates need to be hiked more than 25 basis points at a time in order to control inflation, then that's what the Federal Reserve will do. Now keep in mind, just 5 days earlier, at the end of the most recent FOMC meeting, Powell said that they would be sticking to the game plan of 6 more 25 basis point hikes. Now, last week, when he said that, the market rallied, basically celebrating the fact that we weren't getting rug pulled. Because remember, that's what a lot of people were worried about. People thought that the meeting would end with us seeing rate hikes in larger increments than expected. But as we know, the Federal Reserve does everything in their power to remain as predictable as possible. They don't want to cause market shocks. But now here we are, 5 days later after that FOMC meeting, or actually 6 days later now, and he's coming out essentially saying that a rug pull may still happen. This freaked the market out yesterday. But what Powell is actually trying to do is lower inflation expectations. That's a top priority right now because remember, the Federal Reserve doesn't care about your stocks in any way, shape, or form. That's not what they're for. That's not what they do. But either way, it did not stop the market from starting out strong and then nosediving yesterday upon the release, finding out that we may very well end up getting the rug pulled out from under us if all of a sudden the Fed decides to raise rates by, let's just say, 0.5% at a time rather than 0.25% at a time. But even though that could happen in theory, at the moment, that's not part of the plan, and that doesn't seem like it should happen. Think of it as an emergency strategy if inflation keeps getting worse. Now remember, just because rates are now officially being raised starting last week, that doesn't mean inflation is no longer an issue. It's not like, boom, okay, no more inflation. This is going to take months. It's going to take an entire series of rate hikes before we even begin to scratch the surface, if we scratch the surface at all. Raising rates in larger increments should be reserved for if inflation is still continuing to climb later in the year. I'm talking about like moving into Q3. If inflation still running rampant at that point, we probably have bigger problems than rate hikes. But what the market likes to do is price in worst case scenario. Worse inflation, rug pulls, World War III, it's all being priced in. That's why we've been seeing so much red. And then, of course, our friend Jerome Powell creating more fear, uncertainty, and doubt yesterday didn't help very much. Now, as I said once or twice in the last week or so, I personally believe that the next couple of inflation reports are likely going to be worse. As we found out in January, December's inflation was 7%. We found out in February that January's inflation was 7.5%. We just found out in March that February's inflation, 7.9%. I personally believe that that trend is going to continue. Moving into April, I have a really bad feeling that we are going to learn that March inflation is going to be 8% or more. I don't think inflation is coming down anytime soon. Like I said, I think it's going to take an entire series of rate hikes. And my theory behind this is everything that broke out toward the end of February, like middle to the end of February over in Ukraine, the whole Russia and Ukraine situation. And then, of course, sanctions set in place for Russia. And then, of course, oil starting to skyrocket. That didn't really happen until really the second half of February or even getting closer to the very end of February. So I don't think it was really given enough time to impact February's inflation. I think that's rolling on into March because what are we seeing now? We're seeing gas prices go through the roof. We are seeing the highest gas prices we have ever seen before. Of course, there are some states that are seeing a small dip in gas prices. They're seeing it come down 10 cents or 25 cents or whatever amount of cents. Gas prices are going down a little bit in some areas, but for the most part, based on what I'm reading, most people are still seeing gas prices where they were last week or maybe even a little bit higher. So being that I don't really believe in being problem-oriented, I personally don't believe in clicking the little record button on my camera and pounding my fist on the table and being gas prices, yeah, this is horrible, blah, 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 and doing nothing about it. I like to be solution-oriented. Now, I know that you and I don't have the power to just solve the problem, but I thought of a way that we can combat the problem a little bit to the best of our ability, and it's just by simply using one of the credit cards that I use. I have it right here. I talk about it quite a bit. It's the Discover It cashback card. The reason I'm talking about this is because it has rotating categories of 5% cashback, and the second quarter of the year, see the first quarter it was like grocery stores and whatnot, the second quarter of the year is going to be gas stations. And not only gas stations, but also Target, for what it's worth. But point being is 5% back at gas stations. Now I know gas prices in most areas have gone up by more than 5%, but if you can get 5% back at the pump, at the very least, it'll help combat the problem a little bit. I know it's not really solving the problem, but imagine getting a nice little 5% discount at gas stations for 3 months of the year. I'll take it. Now, fortunately for me, I haven't really been doing a whole lot of driving, but if you're interested in this card, I will leave a link in the description, a referral link. You don't have to use my link, but if you're going to apply for this card, make sure you use somebody's referral link. If you do, you and the person that referred you will each get a $50 statement credit, and I actually believe they recently bumped it up to a $100 statement credit for a limited time, which means $50 to $100 that you get basically as a welcome bonus, and you can go and spend it without having to pay it back. So that's $50 to $100 you can spend however you'd like, and you get 5% cash back. Gas stations in April, May, and June. And if it's your first year with the card, they match all of the cash back in your first 365 days, which means you don't get 5% back at gas stations. For the first year, you're getting 10% back at gas stations. Now that can really help combat these crazy high gas prices. So if anybody's interested in the Discover It cashback card, referral link in the description. You don't have to use mine, but make sure you use somebody's. If you don't know anybody with the card, you're more than welcome to use mine. Oh, and by the way, in Q3, the 5% cashback category, PayPal transactions. You know what that means? It means pretty much everything on the internet. A whole bunch of silver and gold online, eBay, or any of these precious metal dealing websites. If you choose PayPal as your payment method, you get 5% cashback on your precious metals. And if it's your first year with the card, you're going to be getting 10% cashback on the precious metals. Link in the description. I don't work for Discover, but I really enjoy getting 5% cashback on everything if I'm strategic with the card. But anyway, moving away from that, back to what I was talking about, we've been seeing a lot of red days when it comes to stocks, and it's because of everything going on right now. So really quick, let's take a look at how the stock market is behaving today, and then we're going to move on over into the silver and the gold. So today, at 10 o'clock in the morning, we have the S&P 500 up 0.57%. We have the Dow Jones up 0.81%. And we have the NASDAQ up 0.46%. So we currently are seeing green across the board. God only knows what the rest of the day is going to bring us. God only knows if we're going to make it halfway through the day and then just nosedive again, kind of like what happened yesterday, although that was primarily due to Jerome Powell coming out and speaking during the conference. He ain't going to be speaking today, so hopefully that's not anything that we need to worry about, but the way things are working nowadays, it seems like good news is bad news and bad news is good news, so who knows what's going to be said or what's going to take place today or what type of expectations are going to be coming out, and who knows what that's going to do to the markets. We know that they are incredibly, incredibly reactive to quite literally everything. And now before we move on to the silver and the gold, since we're talking about stocks, I just want to give a friendly little reminder that you should go and get your 5 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. You can fund it with any amount. It could be 1 penny, and you get 5 free stocks just for doing so. And if you refer a friend by the end of the month, they're going to give you 10 free stocks for the referral. It's part of their advertising budget. Rather than wasting currency on billboards and TV commercials, they reward the users for helping them build their app with them. And then, of course, if you refer 3 friends by the end of the month, they're going to give you a free share of Apple on the spin wheel, and you have the chance of winning 2, 3, 5, 7, maybe even 10 free shares of Apple. Webull link in the description. Time is running out. If you don't want the stocks, go and get them anyway. Sell them. Congratulations. Now you have the cash to go get you some silver and gold if you want. So now moving away from all that, moving away from stocks, moving away from the stock market, the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, moving away from gas prices, moving away from all of that, let's now finally get into the silver and the gold. So as you can see, like I was saying before, we have a nice little selection on display today. We have the Type 1 Silver Eagle, we have a Type 2 Silver Eagle, a Maple Leaf, a Kangaroo. We have some other Maple Leafs over here, the 25th anniversary and the 30th anniversary Canadian Maple. We have a 10-ounce Silver Bull Bar. We have the Creatures of the North. Really looking forward to the next one, by the way. I have no idea what it's going to be, but I'm excited for it. We have the Kraken and the Werewolf. And of course down here we have some more miscellaneous coins. We have a tiger, an elephant, and a panda. I don't know if you can see it on screen. I don't believe so, but we have a 5-ounce bar over here. We have some junk silver over here. And then, of course, we have a nice little pile of fractional gold. We have a 10th-ounce Krugerrand, Philharmonic, Eagle, Maple, Britannia, and a 1/4-ounce Philharmonic. And out of frame, we have a 10th-ounce Kookaburra. So that's what we have on display today. And I wanted to talk about the precious metals because, as we can tell, it's a red day for silver and gold. Not by a whole lot. I mean, silver's down 1.79%. Silver's down pretty nice. Gold is down 0.65%. Not too bad. But either way, I don't know if I necessarily foresee silver or gold going much lower than they are right now. I have a hard time envisioning the spot price falling much lower. And that's mainly due to everything going on right now. Like, of course, we're going to see some red days. During economic uncertainty and financial hardships and wartime and rampant inflation, yeah, typically the silver and gold perform the best during these times. Silver and gold, for the precious metals, bad news is good news. And one thing that I wanted to point out was that even though times like these do pretty good for the silver and the gold, it doesn't mean that we just see the spot price just go up continuously without seeing little tiny dips or pullbacks. I don't even know if you'd want to call this a dip or a pullback. I wouldn't consider it, but it's definitely in the red today. Spot price is down just a hair. And that's exactly what we can expect. Just because things are going on in the world that are driving the precious metals up or causing the precious metals to do very, very well or perform very, very well, it doesn't mean that we're not going to see red days from time to time. So that's what we're seeing right now. And I don't know if this is a good example where somebody can go and say, oh, buy the dip. I don't think it dipped enough for it to be a dip, but that's just me. Spot price hasn't really moved too far from this range in a little bit of time. It's been in the $24 to $25 range these last couple of days, or really the last week or so. So for it going down from $25 to $24.74, to me, that's not really anything at all. That's hardly even worth noting. I just wanted to point it out because anytime spot price moves from $1 spot to the next dollar spot, I like to talk about it. I don't like talking about spot price going down by 4 cents or going up by 17 cents. To me, that's not really any movement. That's not really much momentum. I like talking about when spot price makes a jump or when spot price falls by, like example today, 1.79%. Nice little dip. And if it were 1.79% in an upward direction, that'd be a nice jump. That's what I like talking about. But regardless of spot price, I'm going to do what I've been doing. My strategy is not going to change very much. I'm going to continue stacking silver the way that I've been stacking silver. And I want to say that I'm going to continue stacking gold the way I've been stacking gold. But truth be told, I haven't picked up gold in a little bit of time. I will be going after those new gold backs that are being released. I will be getting the 1, 5, and 10 just because why not? But When it comes to stacking gold, fractional gold coins, 10th ounce, quarter ounce, maybe even half ounce, or even a full troy ounce, I haven't been going after any gold. And to be honest, I plan on keeping it that way just for a little bit of time. It bothers me that I'm keeping it that way just because when it comes to how much silver I have in comparison to how much gold that I have, I personally believe that it just doesn't make sense. My personal gold to silver ratio does not make sense. I'm severely lacking when it comes to gold, and I want to play catch up a little bit, but at the same time, I gotta remain strategic. At the same time, I gotta focus on what's important. I have to do what's right through my eyes, at least. Some people right now might think that gold makes far more sense to be stacking. If that's what you believe, if that's the case for you, then by all means, go after the gold. It's all different based on who you're talking to. So if you're talking to me, I would say right now it's a better time to be stacking silver. I would say silver is the better deal right now. I would say that silver has a lot of catching up to do. And with silver being as low as it is today, you know what's funny about that, by the way? Everybody likes to say that silver is so incredibly undervalued, but at the same time, people complain about the spot price being too high. People say, oh, I wish spot price went back to $14. If you think spot price is too high right now, but if you also simultaneously think that silver is incredibly undervalued, you might need to reassess what's actually going on because, yeah, spot price is a little bit higher up than what we were used to 2-3 years ago, back when it was in the teens, $14, $15, $16, $17 an ounce. Sure, it's higher than that, but guess what? It's also lower than it was at its all-time high. Silver has reached $50 on more than one occasion. Actually, one of those occasions it went to $49 and change, but it almost hit $50. But either way, it's a whole lot cheaper than $49. It's a whole lot cheaper than $50 right now. I think that's what we should be focusing on, if that's even the way you want to focus on it. I personally don't worry too much about the currency value or the price tag attached to each individual troy ounce of silver. That's not really what I'm worried about at the moment. I'm not really shooting to lower my average cost. If I have the opportunity to do so, I would absolutely capitalize on it. But the primary objective right now isn't to lower my average cost on silver. It's to increase how much silver I have. Now, I was just having a conversation with somebody just recently when it comes to stocks, by the way, and their primary objective right now is the same thing. They said they would like to lower their average cost, but right now that's not the goal. Right now, they're not investing specifically to lower their average cost. They're investing to acquire more stocks. They want to increase how many shares they own. So they're taking the same approach as I'm taking when it comes to stacking. And the way that I'm going about stacking isn't changing. I'm going after the 90% junk constitutional silver, mainly Washington quarters. That's just where I can get the most bang for my buck right now. That's just what seems to make the most sense. I get comments from time to time. Anytime I mention the junk silver, they're like, oh, the premiums are much higher on junk silver than generic silver. Not at my local coin shop. 90% silver is actually a little bit cheaper than generics. So it really comes down to your area. It really comes down to where you can get the best deal right now. You don't have to go after any particular type of silver. Just because I'm stacking 90% silver and it's because I get the best bang for my buck on junk silver, doesn't mean that that's what you should be stacking necessarily. You just got to figure out where the best bang for your buck is at your local coin shop. Forget about these websites. Screw the websites. Support your local coin shop. Please support small businesses. Figure out where you can get the best bang for your buck at your local coin shop or at one of the coin shops in your area. Figure it out. You got to do the math. You got to call them up and crunch the numbers and figure out if it makes more sense to pick up junk silver or if it makes more sense to pick up generic silver. Because I'll tell you what, I'm not going after junk silver specifically because I like it. I'm going after junk silver because that's where I can get the best deal right now. If the tables turn and all of a sudden I learn that generic silver is a better deal than 90% silver, guess what? I'm going to be going after generic silver. I'm not loyal to any particular piece of silver. I'm only loyal to the metal. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it says. It doesn't matter what's on it or where it's from or who minted it. None of that matters to me. See, I used to get a lot of comments on my videos from people just refusing to stack the kangaroo or the maple leaf or the queen's beasts or the creatures of the north or really anything with the queen on it. I got so many comments back in the day from people saying that they refuse to stack anything with the queen on it. I never understood that mentality. Because guess what? If you don't like the queen being on it, just flip it over. Keep the other side up. Or just close your eyes. It doesn't matter. It's silver. Who cares who's on it? Who cares what's on it? Who cares what it says? None of that matters to me. The only thing that matters to me when it comes to silver is whether or not it's silver. That's the only thing I care about. And of course, the premiums have to be fair. But let's just say the premiums are all the same. One had a picture of the queen on it, one had a picture of this on it, one had a picture on that on it. That doesn't matter to me. I'll take them all. Give me all of them. I don't care. I just want the silver. It doesn't matter to me what it says, who's on it. None of that matters to me. And I think that ever since 2020, and by the way, I hate referencing 2020 because here we are 2 years later. I don't want to be talking about 2020 16 years from now. So I'd like to leave 2020 in 2020. But I do believe that what took place during that period of time woke people up to the fact that now is not the time to be picky. Now is not the time to be overly selective or say, oh, I don't like the way that looks, or I don't like who's on it, or I don't like where it's from, or anything like that. I don't think that matters to many people anymore. At least the people that are stacking for weight. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It could not be less relevant. A lot of people don't like, the things that the Chinese government does. It doesn't matter. It's still a silver panda. It's still silver. A lot of people don't like the queen. They won't stack anything that has the queen on it. It's still silver. That's just the way I see it. That's been my method of stacking for the last couple of years. And for the last year and a half to 2 years, I've been really dialed in on 90% junk constitutional silver. And I'll probably keep it that way. I'm actually definitely going to keep it that way until the day comes where generic silver becomes cheaper than 90% silver. At that point, I'll get back to stacking the silver rounds and the silver bars, but right now I'm just going after whatever I can get the most bang for my buck on. That's my strategy, and I want to know yours, so if you can head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. What are your current stacking strategies? Are you picky when it comes to silver, or could you stack silver with your eyes closed at this point? Doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's silver and as long as the premium is fair. And then, of course, when it comes to gas prices, what are your thoughts? Are the gas prices still going up where you live? Or do you live in one of the states or one of the towns or cities where the gas prices maybe came down a little bit? Of course, friendly reminder, if you don't have the Discover It cashback card, I will leave a referral link in the description. If you apply through my link, you and I will each get a $50 statement credit, potentially even a $100 statement credit, depending on if that promo is still going on. And you're going to get 5% cash back on gas purchases, April, May, and June. And if it's your first year with the card, technically it's 10%. And then the following quarter, the third quarter of the year, you're going to get 5% cash back on PayPal transactions, aka online silver and gold pickups, or 10% back on precious metals if it's your first year with the card. Referral link in the description. You don't have to use mine, but make sure you use somebody's. That way you get the welcome bonus. But I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. When it comes to the gas prices, when it comes to the silver, when it comes to anything, head on down to the comments and let me know. If you guys like today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. Go and get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. Got t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, coffee mugs in a bunch of different designs. A lot of the products are raising some funds and awareness for different charity organizations, by the way. DYDSS store will be linked in the description. Come and join us in the Precious Metals VIP Club, which is where I do giveaways every single month, live streams multiple times a week, deal alerts on silver and gold almost every single day. You can watch all of my videos early and commercial free. Every Saturday morning I post a brand new vlog, and there are a ton of other perks as well. I guarantee you the value exceeds the cost. VIP club link in the description. And of course, last but certainly not least, make sure to go and get your 5 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. Normally it's 2 free stocks. They bumped it up to 5. So capitalize on that while you can. You can deposit as little as 1 penny and it still counts. And if you refer 1 friend by the end of the month, they're going to give you 10 free stocks for the referral. It's part of their advertising budget. And if you refer 3 friends by the end of the month, they're going to give you a spin on the Webull wheel where you're guaranteed at least 1 free share of Apple, with the chance of potentially winning 2, 3, 5, 7, maybe even 10 free shares of Apple. Webull link in the description. Time is running out. Don't pass up on an opportunity. If you don't want the stocks, go and get them anyway. Sell them. Congratulations. Now you have the cash to go get you some silver and gold if you want. Webull link in the description. And I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know once again, what are your thoughts on everything shared in today's video? When it comes to some of Jerome Powell's comments yesterday at the conference, do you think that that was a major catalyst? Do you think that that freaked the market out? And then, of course, when it comes to gas prices, are you personally expecting the inflation reports, at least the next couple of inflation reports, to still be on the rise? I personally believe so, and at the moment, I think it's primarily going to be caused by gas prices continuing to go up, at least this upcoming inflation report. And then, of course, when it comes to the silver and the gold, what are your stacking strategies at the moment? Have you learned to be less picky? I know I did. Have you learned to just say it doesn't matter what it is as long as it's silver? That's what I did. Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you tomorrow. Don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.